So we just got that live. It's being called
Yes.
not by reputable news sources yet, but CNN has called it. So that's something.
I'm calling it.
Young Turks
is
has
now
called it.
calling it. Bernie Sanders, the winner in Indiana. Down goes Hillary, down, kind of, in Indiana for the moment being.
So did you see? So have you seen the polls that have Hillary only 2 points ahead of Donald Trump? Cenk, have you seen those polls?
Yes. I saw a Rasmussen poll where they were tied.
So now, what do you think this means for Bernie going? For her, Trump's going to talk. I don't need to hear him. But but what do you think this means? Does this mean anything for Bernie going forward that he wins in Indiana? And that, I mean, there is still a path for victory. And, let's remember, I forget who said this, but Bobby Kennedy, go ahead.
Okay. So first of all, what if Pennsylvania was the last state she won?
Jesus.
Whisper.
By the way, if Pennsylvania's the last state she won, she might still win. So let's just keep it real on that front.
Yeah.
But having said that, look, yes, Indiana win is very good, very necessary for Bernie Sanders, and God bless, we'll take it. He is still alive, and we should note for the record. Look, of course, it's improbable, but there are a couple of things that could happen. There are things that could make a dramatic difference. He could win California 65-35. I've heard people in the campaign talk about that. It's very improbable, but it's a remote possibility. It still exists, right?
Yes.
And of course, the indictment could happen. I know the Hillary people freak out as if I am investigating her, right?
Yes.
Dude, I'm not the one investigating. 12 FBI agents are investigating.
You're
so,
one of the few
you
people
closing
not
your eyes to it
investigating her.
doesn't make it not real.
Yes. And Jake, let me ask you one more question. What happens if by the convention time, Hillary's, losing to Trump by 6 percentage points? What do the superdelegates do then? Because by what I've been told is that's what the superdelegates are there for. They're there to help make the best choice for November. What if she's losing by the time the convention comes? What do you think of that?
Okay, so let me make a couple of things clear. First of all, it is very, very likely that when they go into the convention, that neither Bernie Sanders nor Hillary Clinton will have enough delegates to win outright, enough pledged delegates. Okay, so yes, the superdelegates in some way will decide who the nominee is. Now, we've been saying all along, and we've got to be honest and principled about this, Jimmy, which is that the superdelegates should not supersede the will of the voters. Okay, so if she has more pledged delegates, which seems very likely now, but does not have enough for a majority, which is also very, very likely. It's not very likely. With Indiana now going for Bernie Sanders, she will not have enough. I'm calling that. It's over. She will not have a majority of the delegates going into the convention on pledged delegates alone. So on the other hand, this is why I mentioned the indictment. Yes, it's a small possibility within the next 6 weeks, but it is real. By the way, let me just note for the record, I know Hillary Clinton supporters' heads explode when I say this, but if there was a dozen FBI agents investigating any other U.S. citizen, they would get indicted. Their chance of getting indicted would be 99.9%. Okay? So, and you know that. Anybody knows that. You got 12 FBI agents looking into you, you're getting arrested, dude. You're getting indicted. Okay, so now I know she's powerful, and maybe the powerful are above the law. So that's entirely possible. Okay, but the reason I say all that is because that is exactly what the superdelegates were for.
Yes.
Okay, so if you have someone, yes, who got more pledged delegates, but just got arrested, okay, so that's when the superdelegates would go, hey, for the good of the party, she just got arrested, she's losing by 6 or 8 to Donald Trump, and the other guy is winning by 12 against Donald Trump or 15. I mean, if there's any reason for the superdelegates at all, it would be that moment. If they don't use the superdelegates in a moment like that, then they should never, ever, ever have them.
Well, they shouldn't have them even if they don't use them in a moment like that. I think they should eliminate them right now. And that is ostensibly
why... That's a fair point by John.
That's ostensibly why they were created. But when we're we have to think about this not in the abstract, but the actual Democratic leadership we have right now, immortalized right now, or the figurehead being Debbie Wasserman Schultz. Do you think she will care about the carefully crafted logic that you just laid out there?
Yeah. A, no. B, I'm about to make Jimmy's head explode. I was just in D.C. That's part of the reason I'm out of town. I was there for the White House Correspondents' Dinner weekend, right? First of all, I also talked to Debbie Wasserman Schultz. She says she'll come on the Young Turks, so that should be interesting. But the thing that'll make your head explode has nothing to do with her. The buzz inside DC was if she gets indicted, they don't give it to Bernie anyway. All of her delegates and the superdelegates give it to Biden.
Hey, guess what? Hey,
Wow.
guess what? Again, another
Wow.
bad. So again, the Democratic Party, who's trying to present us with the worst and most flawed candidate, definitely the most hated candidate in the history of the Democratic Party. They're offering that, and then their second thing is to then screw over the most popular politician of our generation right now. No, that's not. If that does. For sure, Trump wins the general election. For sure.
Yes.
So do you?
For sure,
They would-
right? What do you think about that?
If they did that, they would hand the election on a silver platter to Donald Trump, and they would split the Democratic Party irreversibly.
Yes.
Like the Sanders people would never ever come back, right? And so that is such an atrocious idea. But what is amazing is that most of Washington thinks that's the most reasonable thing to do. They don't even think that that's controversial.
How could that not?
That's the establishment bubble, though. They're so disconnected from the American people and the voters, especially young voters. Like, it's amazing how unaware they are of how disastrous that would be. But what you just laid out right now, Cenk, is a perfect example of why so many people think the system's rigged.
Right.
I mean, it doesn't matter who you vote for. In the end, the establishment's going to get what the establishment wants.
Yeah. So again, let me be clear. That was not Debbie Wasserman Schultz. That was not anyone in the official party. And there were a minority of people who were saying, no, that's unreasonable. But the majority of people that I talked to, and yes, it's anecdotal, but the majority of people I talked to were saying, if she gets indicted before the convention, they're going to go to Biden. Okay. So, which, oh my God. I mean, the degree to which that convention would be a mess would be record-breaking. If they thought the Republican convention was going to be bad if it was contested, wait till you get a load of the Democratic one. But again, these are all remote possibilities. Let's just keep it real on that. Our job is to be, honest with the audience. So likely, instead, she'll get indicted in the general election. Joy.